If you're over 60, what you put on your plate first thing in the morning may be silently damaging your brain. Yes, what you eat when you wake up could be accelerating memory loss, reducing your concentration, and even increasing your risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. A study published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease showed that morning eating habits are directly linked to cognitive health in older adults. And the scariest part? Foods that seem harmless, even traditional breakfast choices, may be silently inflaming your brain every day. My name is Dr. William Tharnell, a specialist in senior health with over 25 years of experience in geriatrics and integrative medicine. Today, I'll show you which foods you should stop eating for breakfast immediately if you want to protect your mind, your memory, and your independence. This video is a warning, but it's also a guide. You'll discover the biggest villains in your breakfast, and most importantly, how to replace them in a practical and tasty way. By the end of this content, you'll know exactly what to put on your plate to keep your brain healthy for years to come. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a family member who also needs to take care of their memory. And tell me in the comments, what's the food you most often eat for breakfast? Your habit may be more dangerous than you think. Imagine this scene. James, 67, wakes up early every day. He goes to the kitchen, prepares 2 slices of white bread, spreads a generous amount of margarine, adds a spoonful of strawberry jam, and pairs it all with a very sweet black coffee. Sound familiar? This is a common routine for millions of seniors worldwide. And the problem is this traditional breakfast is promoting silent brain inflammation every single day. Refined bread, industrial margarine, sugar-loaded jams, and sugary drinks are the perfect combination to trigger blood sugar spikes. These spikes, repeated daily, are directly linked to what's called premature brain aging. According to a Mayo Clinic study, diets high in simple carbs and trans fats are associated with an 89% higher risk of mild cognitive impairment in seniors. The most concerning part? Many older adults think they're eating well because they've always done it this way. But the body at 60, 70, or 80 doesn't respond the same way it used to. What was once harmless may now be accelerating memory loss, increasing mental confusion, and reducing focus. And if you're wondering, what's so bad about these foods? Pay attention. In the next sections, we'll uncover, one by one, the most common breakfast villains, and why you should eliminate them as soon as possible. Helen, 72, starts her day with a bowl of breakfast cereal and a glass of orange juice. Sounds healthy, right? But what she doesn't know is that she's starting her day with about 30 grams of refined sugar, equivalent to 7 teaspoons. And that comes at a high cost for the brain. When we consume sugar right after waking up, our body suffers an abrupt blood glucose spike. This spike is followed by an insulin surge, which tries to normalize levels. The problem? This repeated cycle causes inflammation in brain cells and impairs communication between neurons. Studies from the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, showed that high-sugar diets negatively affect cognitive function, reducing the production of brain growth factors like BDNF, a protein essential for forming new memories and learning. Additionally, excessive sugar consumption is linked to shrinkage of the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for long-term memory. In seniors, this can accelerate the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's. And the most alarming part? Many foods considered breakfast staples, cereals, boxed juices, cookies, flavored yogurts, contain more sugar than dessert. If you want to preserve your mind and autonomy, the first step is removing hidden sugar from your breakfast. Your brain will thank you, with more clarity, focus, and memory throughout the day. David, 70, is a widower who lives alone. Every morning, he prepares his white toast with strawberry jam and sits at the table to catch up on the news. He thinks he's making a light and practical choice, but unknowingly, he's fueling a daily inflammatory process in his brain. White bread is made with highly refined flour, meaning it practically turns into sugar as soon as it enters your system. When combined with jam, which is basically sugar with coloring and flavor, the result is a glycemic cocktail first thing in the morning. The glycemic index of this meal skyrockets, leading to intense energy fluctuations and harming brain connections. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that high glycemic load diets are associated with poorer performance in memory and reasoning tests among seniors. Additionally, repeated consumption of refined bread and sugary jams contributes to brain fog, that heavy-headed feeling, frequent forgetfulness, and difficulty concentrating that many seniors experience. The brain needs stable energy and anti-inflammatory nutrients to function well. Unfortunately, white toast with jam delivers the opposite: glucose spikes followed by energy crashes, creating a toxic environment for brain cells. Eliminating this combination from breakfast is a simple but powerful step to slow down your brain's aging. Margaret, 74, has always chosen light margarine, believing it was the healthier option. She's avoided butter for decades, worried about cholesterol. But what Margaret doesn't know is that by doing this, she's risking the very thing she values most: her lucidity and independence. Margarine, especially industrial versions, contains trans fats. These substances increase bad cholesterol, LDL, reduce good cholesterol, HDL, and trigger chronic inflammation in the body, including the brain. And that's no small thing. Researchers at Kyoto University in Japan analyzed trans fat levels in seniors' blood and found that those with the highest levels had up to a 75% higher risk of developing Alzheimer's over the years. Moreover, trans fats affect the fluidity of neuron cell membranes, impairing nerve impulse transmission and reducing the ability to form and retain memories. In other words, margarine doesn't just sabotage your cardiovascular health, it also undermines your brain function. And here's an important warning: even margarines labeled trans fat-free may contain traces, because in many countries, if the amount per serving is small, companies are allowed to declare it as zero. The best option is to replace margarine with natural sources of healthy fats, like extra virgin olive oil or small amounts of real butter, always in moderation. What you spread on your bread may seem like a small detail, but it makes all the difference when it comes to preserving your mind. Robert, 68, loves having a slice of cornbread with sweet coffee in the morning. Just a small piece, he says. But what Robert doesn't realize is that he's triggering a biochemical earthquake in his brain right after waking up. Glucose spikes occur when blood sugar levels rise rapidly after a meal high in simple carbs or sugar. This frequently happens with breakfasts made up of cakes, white bread, artificial juices, and excessive sweeteners. When excess sugar enters the bloodstream, the body releases large amounts of insulin. Over time, this can lead to insulin resistance in the brain, a condition some researchers call type 3 diabetes. This resistance interferes with neuron communication, directly impairing memory, learning ability, and reasoning. Studies from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, show that constant glucose fluctuations are linked to increased beta-amyloid protein in the brain, the same protein associated with Alzheimer's plaque formation. Additionally, glucose spikes and crashes contribute to episodes of irritability, extreme fatigue, and memory lapses. Many seniors mistake these symptoms for normal aging, when in fact they're direct effects of unregulated eating. Keeping glucose stable is one of the pillars of protecting brain function. And it starts with the first meal of the day. Charles, 73, never starts his day without his traditional mug of coffee with 2 spoons of sugar. He believes it helps him wake up better and gives him energy for the day's tasks. But what Charles doesn't imagine is that this small habit is undermining his ability to think clearly day after day. Coffee itself has antioxidants and can even be beneficial in moderation. However, the problem starts when it's sweetened, especially with refined sugar or low-quality artificial sweeteners. Right after drinking sweetened coffee, a glucose spike similar to that of a dessert occurs. This activates a cycle of energy highs and lows that overload the brain, cause mental confusion, and make focus difficult, especially in the early morning when the brain should be most alert and functional. Long-term, this combination compromises brain-blood vessel health. A study published in Diabetologia showed that people who regularly consume sweetened drinks have a 40% higher chance of developing vascular dementia, a type of cognitive degeneration caused by poor brain circulation. Additionally, sugar affects serotonin and dopamine production, neurotransmitters responsible for regulating mood, motivation, and mental clarity. This can lead to constant fatigue, mood swings, and frequent forgetfulness. And there's another aggravating factor. Many seniors tend to sweeten their coffee even more over the years as their taste buds lose sensitivity. This creates an addictive and increasingly harmful cycle for cognitive health. The good news? It's possible to readjust. Start by gradually reducing sugar, or try natural substitutes like cinnamon, which adds flavor and has neuroprotective properties. Your brain will feel the difference, and so will your energy. George, 69, likes a hearty breakfast. He often puts sausages, ham, or bacon with eggs on his plate. He believes he's getting a good dose of protein to maintain strength and energy. However, what George doesn't know is that he's consuming one of the most harmful food groups for the brain, ultra-processed meats. Sausages, mortadella, ham, bacon, and processed meats contain chemical additives like nitrates, nitrites, monosodium glutamate, MSG, and artificial preservatives. These compounds not only harm the liver and gut but also cross the blood-brain barrier, directly affecting the brain. A University of Leeds study in the UK followed over 500,000 people and found that frequent consumption of processed meats was linked to a 44% higher risk of dementia, especially in people over 60. These foods increase systemic inflammation, raise free radical levels, and negatively impact gut microbiota, which is directly connected to the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and acetylcholine, essential for memory and mood. Additionally, the excess sodium in processed meats harms blood pressure, promoting microdamage to brain blood vessels. This contributes to silent, progressive cognitive decline, something many only notice when symptoms like memory lapses, confusion, or disorientation become evident. If you want to protect your brain, replace these foods with natural protein sources like boiled eggs, without added fat, avocado, grilled tofu, or unsweetened plain yogurt. Your brain needs clean nutrition, not packaged poison. Emily, 66, avoids sweets and fried foods for breakfast. She thinks she's doing everything right by choosing water and salt crackers with tea or fitness whole grain crackers. But what seems like a light and healthy choice actually hides a major risk for brain health. These industrial crackers, even those labeled whole grain or zero trans fat, are made with highly refined flours, oxidized vegetable oils, and chemical additives like preservatives, colorings, and flavor enhancers. When eaten, they cause a rapid rise in blood sugar without providing the fiber or healthy fats needed to balance this impact. Result? Glucose spikes, silent inflammation, and cumulative damage to brain connections. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging revealed that diets high in ultra-processed foods increase the risk of accelerated cognitive decline in seniors by up to 28%. And these crackers, despite their harmless appearance, fall squarely into this category. Moreover, the refined oils used in these products, like soybean oil and palm oil, oxidize easily during processing and transportation. This generates inflammatory compounds that affect neurons and brain blood vessel health. The worst part? Many seniors consume them daily, thinking they're a neutral option. But when the brain is aging, no choice is neutral. You're either protecting it or damaging it. Swap these crackers for real food options: a slice of real whole grain bread with avocado or a portion of fruit with nuts. Your brain needs real food, not pretty packaging with empty promises. Patricia, 71, is always on the lookout for supermarket deals. Her pantry is stocked with cereal bars, boxed juices, zero-fat, yogurts, and breakfast cereals with labels promising fiber, energy, and well-being. She trusts the packaging, and that's the big mistake. The food industry knows the 60-plus demographic seeks health, convenience, and lightness. That's why it creates functional products that seem healthy but are actually ultra-processed, loaded with artificial ingredients, synthetic sweeteners, thickeners, and hidden sugars. These foods don't nourish the body, let alone the brain. They promote chronic inflammation, disrupt metabolism, and directly impair cognitive function. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, diets high in ultra-processed foods are linked to the global rise in degenerative neurological diseases, including in older populations. The most alarming part? Many of these products are labeled with words like light, fit, natural, or sugar-free, terms that confuse and mislead consumers. But just glance at the ingredient list, and you'll find substances you don't recognize or can't even pronounce. Additionally, these foods have low nutritional density. In other words, they take up space on your plate but don't deliver the nutrients your brain needs to function, be vitamins, omega-3s, antioxidants, and essential amino acids. The truth is simple: the more colorful, flashy, and promising the packaging, the higher the chance that the food inside is sabotaging your brain health. When in doubt, follow this golden rule: if a food needs advertising to sell, it probably shouldn't be on your breakfast table. Walter, 70, no longer feels hungry when he wakes up. Instead of forcing a meal, he opts for water and only eats later. His family finds it strange, but he feels more energetic and mentally clear. The question is this healthy or dangerous for someone his age? Intermittent fasting has gained scientific attention in recent years, even for seniors. And the studies are surprising. Research from the University of Southern California and the National Institute on Aging indicates that controlled periods without food can stimulate natural cellular repair processes, reduce inflammation, and improve cognitive function in older adults. During fasting, the body activates autophagy, a kind of internal cleanup that removes damaged cells and toxic waste, including in the brain. This helps prevent the buildup of abnormal proteins linked to Alzheimer's and dementia. Additionally, by avoiding refined carb-heavy meals first thing in the morning, seniors reduce glucose spikes, improve insulin sensitivity, and stabilize mood and energy. Many report better focus and mental clarity in the early hours, consistent with clinical data. But beware, fasting must be tailored individually. For seniors with weight loss, certain medications, uncontrolled diabetes, or frailty, fasting can be dangerous. It's essential to consult a doctor or nutritionist before making any changes to eating patterns. The key takeaway? Not eating out of obligation is also a sign of listening to your body. And sometimes, giving your brain a break from food is exactly what it needs to function better. You don't need to eliminate everything from your kitchen at once. Start with simple and effective steps. Below are 5 practical swaps using the exact foods we've discussed in this video. This way, you can protect your mind without sacrificing taste or convenience. Instead of white bread with jam, choose oatmeal with fresh fruit. White toast with jam spikes glucose and inflames your brain. Swap it for a bowl of oatmeal with sliced banana and a pinch of cinnamon. Oatmeal stabilizes blood sugar and fuels your brain with lasting energy. Instead of margarine, try mashed avocado with olive oil. Margarine contains trans fats that impair brain function. Replace it with mashed avocado drizzled with extra virgin olive oil on real whole grain bread. This combo nourishes neurons with healthy, anti-inflammatory fats. Skip the water and salt crackers and try nuts with fruit. Industrial crackers seem light but are ultra-processed. Instead, pair half an apple with 3 walnuts or Brazil nuts. You get fiber, antioxidants, and healthy fats, everything your brain loves. Replace breakfast cereal with plain yogurt and seeds. Fitness cereals are often sugar bombs. Unsweetened plain yogurt with a spoonful of chia or flax seeds offers probiotics, protein, and omega-3s, a perfect combo for preserving memory. Swap sausages for boiled eggs. Processed meats are neurotoxic, with chemicals that damage neurons. Eggs, on the other hand, are rich in choline, a nutrient essential for memory and brain health. 1 or 2 boiled eggs are a far more protective alternative. These 5 swaps may seem simple, but they make a huge difference. They reduce brain inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and feed your brain the nutrients it truly needs. This isn't about extreme dieting. It's about real food, designed for the brain you want to preserve. Adopt 1 swap per week and feel the difference. But doctor, I don't have time to prepare anything complicated in the morning. This is one of the most common phrases I hear from patients. And the truth is, it doesn't need to be complicated. With just a few minutes and the right ingredients, you can assemble a breakfast that protects your brain, reduces inflammation, and improves your memory over time. Here's a practical example, based on everything we've covered. Step 1. A stable, nutritious base. Choose 3 tablespoons of fine oat flakes. Add half a cup of hot water and let it soak for 2 minutes. Oats are fiber-rich and help maintain stable glucose, avoiding the spikes that destroy mental clarity. Step 2. Healthy fats for neurons. Add a tablespoon of chia or flax seeds. These seeds are natural sources of omega-3s and help reduce brain inflammation. Step 3. Natural, protective sweetness. Dice half a banana or a small apple with skin and mix it into the oats. Fruit provides antioxidants and balanced energy. For extra flavor, add a pinch of cinnamon, also anti-inflammatory. Step 4. Natural protein for focus. While the oats soak, boil an egg. In 4 minutes, you have a powerful source of choline, a nutrient vital for memory. If preferred, scramble it with a drizzle of olive oil. Step 5. A smart drink. Instead of sugary coffee, opt for turmeric tea with lemon or ginger. These herbs are anti-inflammatory and boost brain circulation. In under 5 minutes, you've created a complete, tasty, and brain-functional breakfast. No ultra-processed foods, no glucose spikes, just foods that help keep your mind young. You don't need to be a chef. You just need to make better choices every single day. But I've always eaten this way and never had any problems. This is a phrase I often hear in my practice. And maybe you think the same. After all, if something worked for decades, why change now? The answer is simple, because your body and brain have changed. After 60, how your body processes food is no longer the same. Metabolism slows, insulin sensitivity increases, and the nervous system becomes more vulnerable to inflammation and nutritional deficiencies. What was once tolerable may now be accelerating brain aging. Signs like frequent forgetfulness, trouble concentrating, morning irritability, and foggy mind sensations aren't normal aging, they're your brain's SOS signals. Insisting on old eating habits just because it's always been this way is like driving a car with a failing engine because it's still moving. Sooner or later, trouble arises. And with the brain, it can manifest silently until it's too late. This isn't about fear. It's about taking responsibility for yourself. Every meal is an opportunity to preserve your independence, memory, and quality of life. Perfection isn't required, just awareness. And it starts when you recognize that what was once comfortable may no longer be safe. Change may seem hard, but ignoring the signs is even riskier. I'm Dr. William Tharnell. It's been an honor to guide you this far. If this video helped you in any way, hit like. It tells YouTube this content matters and should reach more people. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos on protecting your memory, body, and autonomy. And tell me in the comments, which of these changes will you implement in your breakfast starting tomorrow? Your experience could inspire others your age to do the same. See you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself, because no one else can live your life for you.